Hello, and welcome to my quick review of the new movie Us. So, Us is the latest film by writer director Jordan Peele, whose last project, Get Out, was a huge success, received critical acclaim, and got great box office results. And now he is back with his second project here in 2019. So, Us follows the story of a family who goes on vacation in the California area, but their time is interrupted when a family comes that looks exactly like them, practically clones, and starts to mess with them psychologically and horrifically. And from there, a bunch of horrorness ensues, and a bunch of things you find out ensues. Basically, what you see in the trailer. The one word I would use to describe this film is interesting. I would say that Jordan Peele is a unique horror director. I wouldn't say he's a great horror director. He's only made two films, so he doesn't have that big of a filmography to be able to tell if he is actually great at horror. Get Out was legitimately good. Us, though, would I call it good? I liked it. I liked Us, but I think there's a lot here that drags it down from being as good as Get Out. I think Get Out is a more effective horror film and had a more effective, uh, solid plot and had more solidity to it. Us is a lot more loose. So let's start out with the good stuff. So the good stuff is Lupita Nyong'o. She does a great job. She's the best actress in the movie. She always does great. She's one of the greatest actresses, I think, today. I haven't seen all her films. I haven't seen 12 Years a Slave yet, but hopefully I will. But she's obviously great, and so everyone else does a pretty good job too. For the most part, I bought the kids pretty much throughout the movie. There is some interesting themes and stuff, that's what I feel like was going to be in this movie. It's about the themes of like inner demons, or like basically like how yourself is your own enemy, in a connectedness in a battle between different sides of yourself, that kind of deal. No, those stuff are a little explored, and it is interesting to see. The soundtrack, although not memorable, there are a couple tracks on here that I did find pretty unique and pretty well done, including the track that plays during the credit sequence, and also like even though I have problems with it, the remix that they use in the trailer of I've Got Five on it. There are some legitimately intense scenes. One scene in particular, and it's not a spoiler, I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, is when the clone of Lupita Nyong'o's character starts to talk. I thought that was probably the best effective and most intense scene in the movie. That's the one I was feeling like I'm legit kind of creeped out right now. I thought that was the best part and really well done. And also I gotta say, like, the actors, when they played their clones, they do a great job there too. And there's a couple more scenes that I find just as effective as well. So yeah, I like the film, but what drags it down for me is that there's a lot of things of this film that don't make sense at all. And really, it's hard for me to talk about it without getting into spoilers. Basically, without spoiling it, there's a lot of things that don't make sense about the movie when you think about it. Especially, there's a twist that you may already have guessed, but just in case you haven't, there's a twist that happens, but honestly, the twist is not that twisty. Like, honestly, it's just like, yeah, okay. And it honestly makes the film make a lot less sense when you think about it. There's a lot of things that don't make it makes less sense. There's a lot of more questions come, and just a lot of things that makes the movie less work because of that twist. I feel like they shouldn't have had that twist at all. This movie tries to be grounded in reality, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it is too real. There's a lot of things that I feel like wouldn't happen, that really don't make sense when the more you think about it and you question it. It's not as That's why I'm saying it's not as solid a film as Get Out. Get Out had a solid idea and a solid concept. This one is a lot more loose and has a lot loose ends that it cannot tie up. And also, there were parts of the movies where there's comedy mixed in, and I feel like that detriments it, especially during some scenes which are supposed to be like, scary, and then they say something comedic, and it's just like, well, I don't. Is this supposed to be comedy? Am I supposed to be scared, or you want me to laugh? I don't think the comedy and the horror a lot of times in the movie mix well. So in the end, I do like this movie. I do like some of the things this movie does, but I feel like what drags it down from being good is basically just that a lot of these things don't make sense. The more you question it, the more you realize that there's stuff wrong with it and it's things that don't make sense overall. And that also just the comedy and the horror just don't mix. But it's still saved, and I still like it from the great performances by the cast for the most part, mostly throughout the film, and the idea and themes it does, and some of the songs on the soundtrack. If you are a horror fan, I would say it's at least worth one watch. Give it one watch and see how you like it, because I know some people that legitimately think this is great. Apparently, there's one quote they use where they say Us is the best horror film of all time. I wouldn't go that far, really. Us is that you're choosing Us as the best horror film, really? He must not have watched a lot of horror films. So out of 10, I'm going to give this a 6. I did feel like I enjoyed it more than the average movie, but again, it's not perfect. There's a lot of stuff that just don't line up about this movie. But if you're a horror fan, or if you want to see something decent and a little interesting, I'd say check it out once. I would say it's definitely worth at least one watch. And I will be happy to check out what Jordan Peele does in the future, because I say he is unique. And this film is unique and interesting. I feel like besides a lot of the horror films that come out every year, this does feel something, like unique. So I will definitely check out Jordan Peele's other works in the future. Okay, well, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next quick review. Take care.